invite Gilda Zucker to share a few words on behalf of Sisterhood and Torah Fund and introduce our honoree this evening.
I'm really so sorry that we can't honor Lisa and our Sisterhood members in the way that we had planned, but I want to thank all of you for attending this Kabbalat service tonight in order to honor Lisa Gerstenfeld for her contributions to our Anshe community. Our Anshe Torah Sisterhood is a member of the Women's League of Conservative Judaism, which is an international organization. It provides wonderful programs and connections to and with women from all over the United States and across the world. As a member of our affiliate, you have access to all of these free programs and can sign up for their weekly emails detailing what is coming up next. Torah Fund is Women's League charitable endeavor, and today we are grateful for all the contributions that you have made to Torah Fund in honor of Lisa. Our organization supports scholarships and programming at the 5 conservative seminaries that train rabbis, cantors, educators, and lay leaders for our conservative movement. They are the Jewish Theological Seminary in New York City, the Ziegler School of Rabbinic Studies in Los Angeles, the Schechter Institutes of Jewish Studies in Jerusalem, Seminario Rabbinico Latino Americano in Buenos Aires, the Zacharias Frankel College in Potsdam, Germany. Our own rabbis have been beneficiaries of Women's League Torah Fund. Your donations to Torah Fund and Sisterhood in honor of Lisa will help many other aspiring Jewish leaders. And thanks to all of you, we are almost at our goal. Our theme this year is Biyachad, or together. We are each a small nugget of gold, but together our gifts reflect the light. Shabbat Shalom to all of you, and congratulations to Lisa.
Thank you, Gilda. And I just wanted to say, I am delighted to recognize Lisa as this year's Torah Fund honoree. Lisa is an incredibly dedicated woman who has given her time to numerous aspects of our sisterhood, from a humble programming committee member to our immediate past president. She has not only served our sisterhood, but also taken leadership roles in the broader Anshe Torah community, including financial secretary, mitzvah day chair, recording secretary, and member of the security committee. She is a consummate role model, remaining ever positive, even in challenging times, including having to rearrange our beautiful Saturday morning service scheduled for tomorrow into a Kabbalat service tonight. On behalf of Congregation Anshe Torah Sisterhood, I want to thank Lisa for her many, many contributions to our community. We are truly richer for having her among us. And I'm going to turn it over to the rabbi to continue the service. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sheila. And in fact, we would like to invite Lisa to speak now, as we are all so excited to share this beautiful evening, make the very most of the different situation that we had planned. Lisa, will you please share some words with us now?
Sure, thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So this is my Devar Torah that I was going to give tomorrow. So I hope you guys can indulge me for a few minutes. So most of what I really need to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten, or I guess in my case, preschool. Wisdom was not at the top of the graduate mountain, but there in the sandbox at nursery school. These are the things I learned. Share everything, play fair, don't hit people, put things back where you found them, clean up your mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day some. Take a nap every afternoon. When you go out into the world, watch for traffic. Hold hands and stick together. Be aware of wonder. Remember the little seed in the plastic cup? The roots go down and the plant goes up, and nobody really knows how or why, but we are all like that. Goldfish and hamsters and white mice and even the little seeds in the plastic cup, they all die. So do we. And then remember the book about Dick and Jane, and the first word you learned, the biggest word of all, look. Everything you need to know in there is in there somewhere. The golden rule and love and basic sanitation, ecology and politics, and sane living. Think of what a better world it would be if we all, the whole world, had cookies and milk at 3 o'clock every afternoon and then laid down with our blankets for a nap. Or if we had a basic policy in our nations to always put things back where we found them and cleaned up our own messes. And it is still true, no matter how old you are, when you go out in the world, it is better to hold hands and stick together. And if you recognize those words are from Robert Fulghum in his book that some of us know so well. Biachad, together, is so important to us as Jews, as humans, that Women's League for Conservative Judaism is celebrating this as our Torah Fund theme for the second year in a row. That opening passage of Robert Fulghum's book makes me smile every time I read it. I have a front row seat to these lessons every day as I teach preschoolers. These small children are learning the fundamentals of how to function in society by helping each other, doing their part, and working together. Biachad isn't simply just being together, but doing things together as one. As one, we can make a bigger difference. This concept of doing together as one is what has sustained our sisterhood during these past 2 years and what continues to carry us forward as we enter the third year of living during this pandemic. Together, with the leadership of our Sisterhood president, Cynthia Brooks, the Sisterhood board committed to finding new ways to connect and build relationships with the women of Anshe Torah. We all knew that the only way we were going to get through this was together. While we couldn't be in person, programming continued and deeper connections were made over Zoom. Just seeing a friendly face or hearing a friendly voice made a world of difference. Though we'd prefer to be together in person at Anshe Torah, we learned to build community regardless of where we were. Biachad. This leads me into how this week's Parsha, Teruma, or gift, relates to our theme. In the Parsha, God says, "Let them build me a sanctuary that I may dwell in them." Rabbi Jonathan Sachs makes the distinction in his commentary on the Parsha that the language says dwell amongst them, meaning dwell within the community members, not dwell in it, which would refer to a physical structure. After the whole golden calf debacle, God commands Moses to collect gifts from the Israelites in order to build a sanctuary for God to dwell in them. You see, God had been such an overwhelming presence to the Israelites that they didn't feel a connection with themselves to God. God specifically wanted a place where the Israelites could feel God's presence together. The Israelites were told to bring gold, silver, lapis lazuli, and so on from their own belongings. They were told that they already possessed these gifts. They just had to willingly hand them over to God. The Israelites were to give from their hearts, and they would feel a deeper connection to God. We all have gifts that we can share: music, art, organizational abilities, cooking, math, conversation, teaching, listening. Rabbi Nicole Auerbach, in her sermon from 2016, asks us to look beyond our obvious gifts. What is something you have that you have not offered up yet? When will you use it to make this a holier space? Our synagogue and sisterhood exist because members step forward every day with acts of generosity, some monetary, some time, some talents, some leadership. Whatever it may be, all of this is important and necessary. We feel God's presence in this beautiful sanctuary, even if we're not there right now, because of the people that occupy this community and continue to give of their hearts and souls. Each one of you gives in some way so that together we can thrive. Our entire Jewish community is stronger when we work together and are united as one. So remember the lessons from kindergarten. When you go out into the world, it is better to hold hands and stick together. B'yachad. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom indeed. And Lisa, thank you for those beautiful words. You captured so many thoughts and focused so beautifully on the meaning of b'yachad and your special role amongst all of us. I know I speak for everyone when we so very much regret the fact that we can't be in person, that all the work that had gone into preparing for tomorrow morning, everyone's preparation, and yet at the same time, I think you know and everybody else knows how much people did put into preparing for tomorrow morning. And in fact, that's really what's so important, that it was a labor of love because everybody wanted to gather to support Lisa. Because Lisa, I don't know if we could have a better exemplar of that word, b'yachad. That speaks so beautifully for you, about you, because in your various leadership roles, that's what's defined you. Not only b'yachad, but b'yachad with a smile. And that sense that you bring to the table wherever you are is felt by everyone in your midst, whether it's playing the guitar or sitting at our executive committee table. That smile on your face, that sensitivity that you have to everyone in the room, and your insights rise to the surface again and again, demonstrating that you have a wonderful sense of what it means to be a part of a community, to demonstrate what togetherness is all about, and at the same time, what it means to lead and demonstrate in such a way that others will want to follow you. You know, you beautifully referenced our Sedra for this Shabbat Truma. And there's one phrase in there that every year when we get to that point in the middle of the book of Exodus, and in fact, it's served as the Torah Fund pin in years past, when there's a reference to Nadiv Lev. And that is that, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, Moses asked the Israelites to bring their gifts so that a structure could be made that would represent in the most beautiful of ways God's presence, and remind the people that they needed to set time aside to appreciate what it meant to be in God's presence. But not only were they supposed to bring those gifts, but they were supposed to bring them with a Nadiv Lev, a giving heart. And I think that phrase, again, represents you so beautifully, because you are front and center, giving of yourself, giving of your soul, letting everyone around you feel your heart, your emotion, your sensitivity. And for that, we are so grateful and so appreciative of all of your efforts to strengthen our shul wherever your touch is felt. So I want to say to you, Lisa, to all of your extended family that are with us this evening, of course, to Phil and Seth and Paul and Saul, pardon me, and all of your extended family and friends that are here with us this evening. May you only go from strength to strength. May the inspiration that you receive from all of the people that you brought together from time to time constantly give you the sense of blessing and accomplishment that we hope will always represent us and you so very well. Again, on behalf of the entire congregation, I extend a mazel tov to you on all that you have accomplished, all that you have shared with us, and may you indeed always go forward from strength to strength.